Alright guys, so we've got Bahamut 3-star on the global server. Now I'm going to be going for a all mission clear, which involves actually killing the boss. If you're looking to just unlock the Esper, I posted a video yesterday and I will link it in the description for a quick and easy way to just unlock the boss for like newer players, players that don't want to do the very long and difficult hard mode of the fight. But for this video, we're going to be going for the long clear where we actually kill the boss. This is pretty tricky to do, but we're going to go for it. So for this team, the missions are, well, the only mission that really matters is to kill him with a limit burst. Also summon an Esper and use an item. So for this, we're going to be using Shoreline Fina and Daisy. She's going to have 100% to every resistance, and we gave her Auto Mirage and Passive Provoke. Other than that, nothing else really matters. She's never going to survive, but she has auto cover, so when she dies and re-raises and gets raised up, she automatically casts cover every round, and she just eats all the damage with 100% to all resistances. We're going to need someone to AoE re-raise the team pretty much every turn, so we're using 4-star Riku with 12 or better auto limit. It's important that she's a 4-star and not a 6-star because we want her to fill her LB every single turn, and at 4-star her LB gauge is only 12 crystals. If you evolve her to 5 or 6-star, her LB gauge increases and you can't fill it automatically just with passive regeneration. So we gave her Guts as well, and then Auto Mirage. And I should mention, FaZe is using her TMR. She needs Guts, and she's got to be using her TMR or STMR to have Guts, or, you know, survive fatal damage. I call it Guts. I'm going to be referring to it as Guts throughout the video. And then Riku, like I mentioned, Auto Mirage, 12 Auto Limit, and Guts. Now, Auto Mirage is technically optional. If you don't have these Auto Mirage items, you don't have to have these. It's like an extra layer of safety. It is doable without that. So if you don't have those, don't worry. It still works. It's just like a small chance of surviving like the worst possible case scenario. I'm equipping Auto Mirage. If you don't have it, it's not strictly required. We're going to use someone to AoE raise the party pretty much most turns. We're going to be using Lotus Mage Fina. Also, she does mana regen. She can do backup AoE re-raise if something goes wrong, etc. Again, she does need a source of Guts. So this does need quite a few units with Guts or chance of escaping death, etc. Other than that, we gave her Auto Mirage again just for the safety, and some Spirit just to help fill the team's mana as needed. That's really not super required. And then we're going to use some DPS. We're going to be using Laswell and Reagan as our tag chainer. Now we're going to be using Terra as our main DPS. Terra only can hurt the boss on the turn that he is weak to wind, lightning, and fire. So we're going to be using a wind and a fire weapon. Shift form, where he uses his tag shift, is using a wind and lightning weapon because his shift is automatically fire element. But we're mostly going to be DPSing in the base form with his LB. So we've got Dragon Killer, Beast Killer, LB damage, and this is important. We've got 10 or better autofill. That way he's going to passively fill his LB gauge every 5th turn, which is when we're going to be DPSing the boss. So there we go with Laswell Reagan. And he has Guts naturally just in his kit. He naturally has Guts. And here's the shift form. Honestly, we're almost never going to use the shift form. I just geared it just as a backup. And he doesn't have Auto Mirage, so if he gets hit with a single target physical attack during re-raise animations, he'll just die. It'll set us back a turn. Not that big a deal. He's not critical. And then Neovision's Terra is going to be our primary DPS. Now we're choosing her because Evokers can ignore the boss's mitigation, not his resistance, but the boss has resistance cycling and mitigation cycling, where he changes mitigation per turn, and Terra can completely ignore, or all Evokers can completely ignore the mitigation mechanic. So we only have to worry about in this clear the resistance mechanic. If we were using Laswell Reagan as our primary DPS, we'd have to wait for the both mitigation and the resistance turns to line up, which is a tremendous headache. I tried that on the JP server with Sephiroth, and I gave up the idea. It's too much of a headache. We're going with Evokers that can ignore the mitigation gimmick. Again, she's got Guts. She has some LB fill. We've give her Auto Mirage, etc., auto buffing, and then shift form is all DPS. We've got a well-geared Terra, and there we go. And she's just got the classic Terra set up, 270, 300, 225. And we're taking a friend. Elmsmore popped up first. I'm just grabbing the first Terra friend. A lot of friends built for me. Thank you to all of you. He just popped up first. He's got pretty much the same build as mine. And there we go. He's got pretty much all the same. Okay, let's get into it. So the boss is going to start off in easy mode, and if you're doing the easy clear, just to unlock him, you know, you would come in here and then like just jump someone and win automatically. But we're going for an all mission clear, so we're going to be turning on hard mode. Let me turn up the volume a tiny amount. Okay, so there we go. See, like the boss goes randomly immune to physical and all. It's actually not immunity, it's 99% resistance, which is effectively the same thing. But anyway, on turn 1, we're going to use Phasey to cover and healing ripples. This is because on turn 1, we needed Riku's LB gauge. So there we go. Riku with Phasey, LB, AoE re-raise, done. So Lasso Reagan is going to triple Gleaming just to fill his LB gauge. We're going to go ahead and use Fina to entrust over to Lasso Reagan. We're going to use one of the Terras to summon an Esper to hit the boss to turn on hard mode. That also finishes the Esper mission. And the other Terra can just toss an item. We need to use an item, so we'll just use the Turbo Ether. Actually, we'll use it on Lasso Reagan because make it actually useful. Alright, so we hit the boss, so hard mode is going to turn on now. Now he gets angry. Now the fight gets a little bit more dangerous. Alright, so now he's going to start inhaling and all that. He's going to start imperiling, attacking with magic. Phasey's going to cover the magic and then die. But when she dies and re-raises, she comes back with all those imperils removed. Now she's got 100% resist if she covers this. But the atomic ray is non-elemental and it kills her again. But that always happens at the end of the turn. So, pretty much every turn for the rest of the fight, we're going to have Fina just double cast. We're going to cast AoE Raise. And we're going to cast Mana Regen. Doesn't really matter what else. Okay, so after she raises, we then need to AoE re-raise her again with Riku. So we do that. Now the boss, his cycle, he will always go weak to fire the turn after he does his own Ice, Water, Earth, and Peril. So next turn he's vulnerable to fire. So we're going to be using our DPS next turn. So we're going to use Lasso Reagan to just do his power-ups and then whatever. And then Terrors are going to shift and get ready to cap. Alright, so we're going to trance whatever. Now we can only use the Magnus twice, so the DPS will go down, you know, as the fight goes on, but that's okay. Alright, so once again, the boss is going to do pretty much the same thing. He's going to just destroy Phasey, but she's got re-raise and she's got auto cover. She's going to come back twice and cover all this. She's currently imperiled. She covers, dies because of the imperil, comes back. Now she's immune to the damage. And then the last attack is Atomic Ray, and it kills her. There we go. And so the boss is vulnerable to fire. And as you see here, he also has 99% physical resistance. That's random per turn, physical or magical. It alternates between each of them. If we were using like Lasso Reagan as a primary DPS, on the turn he goes weak to fire, we wouldn't be able to hurt him. He would just be straight up immune to our damage, or 99% resistance, it wouldn't do anything, and it'd be a waste of time. But because we're using Terra, we can ignore that. But even though it's 99% physical mitigation, we can still build the chain with Lasso Reagan. So he's going to use his LB to tag chain, and we're going to cap with both the Terras. So we're going to go ahead and do this first. Alright, so we're going to send our Terras, wait just a second, then send our tag chainer, which is dealing like no damage, as you can see. And I horribly mistimed that. Horrible timing, my mistake. Whoops. We wasted a turn, basically. That's okay, it's going to be a long fight regardless, so wasting a turn is not that big a deal. Now we're just going to reload, and we're going to use Fina first. Always use your Reviver first, then click your AoE Re-Raiser, because we need the Re-Raise on Phasey again. If you did Fina or Riku and then Fina, or push the repeat button, it might do it in the wrong order, and then it'd be a game over. So now we have to wait 5 turns. In 5 turns, the boss will go vulnerable to fire again. He cycles through 4 turns of resistance and then 1 immunity to everything turn. So there we go. So we're just waiting at this point. So we go ahead and revive. Wait for her to revive, and then we re-raise. Everyone else can just guard. We just wait. And because of the auto regen, the auto LB, we're getting that back. So there's the Mega Flare. Mega Flare will happen every now and then, as well as Terra Flare and Giga Flare. So we will deal with those as we get to it. I'm going to swap Phasey to just cover. And, you know, we're just waiting. This is why it's going to be a long and boring fight. We're just waiting for the boss to go back to vulnerable to fire again. So every 5th turn, we can nuke the boss. Alright, so next turn is going to be the Atomic Ray turn, the multiple Atomic Ray turn. This is why the rest of your team wants AoE re-raise and guts and all that. So this turn, the boss is going to do 3 Atomic Rays. The first one's going to kill Phasey, the second one's going to kill Phasey, and the third one is going to kill or attack the rest of the team. But we're going to guts it. So there's one, there's the second, here's the third. We've got guts. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 of them. And we have re-raise. That's why you want guts and re-raise on everyone. So we survived it and then came. I'm sorry, it was 4, not 3. My mistake. So let's go ahead and raise, and we're still chilling. So this turn, the boss is like not vulnerable to anything. That's our imperil. It's not strong enough. It's not the boss's. The boss is a 300% imperil. So we're gonna do this. Oh, I still can't believe I messed up my timing on the first LB. Feels bad, man. That was one of Terra's Magnus's LBs too. Okay, so this is the turn where the boss is using, what's it called? This is where the boss is using the Ice, Water, Earth Imperil. So next turn is the Fire weakness. So next turn we can hurt the boss. So we're going to, again, get ready. We're going to power up Lastwell and do his thing. Terra's going to shift, and we're gonna try to do more damage this time by properly capping, hopefully. Now, last turn I should have actually used Terra's Madwin Field. I kind of forgot about that. The fight's gonna be a long fight. I will remember later in the fight, I hope, because it would have done a tiny bit more damage. So get Shoreline Fiend back up. Let's go ahead and AoE re-raise. All right, so this turn is going to be the turn we can actually hurt the boss. Yeah, slow fight. This is why I mentioned it's going to be a long fight. And I'm going to be cutting the video soonish because I'm going to be repeating this for like 2 hours to get a clear in, because it's super slow, which is why I said this is kind of a goofy fight. So now the boss is weak to fire, and this time he's randomly weak to magic. So Lasso Reagan is going to actually deal a little bit of damage here by tagging as well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to send these, and we're going to wait longer to send Lasso Reagan. Hopefully I timed that a little bit better that time. I did. Okay, so we did 1%. We did 1% that time. Big boy damage. The boss is just crazy tanky. And now we wait 5 more turns to do it again. So every 5 turns, we're going to do about 1%. It's going to be a really long clear. Here's a Giga Flare turn. It's going to be multiple AoEs. Kills the team, re-raises the team, not a problem. We come back, we're good. There you go. So Guts is really important for the team. So we're going to raise them up. We're going to AoE re-raise, and we guard, and we wait again for the next opening of Fire Resistance. Bahamut took a huge breath. Okay, so this is going to be a Terra Flare turn coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and show this, because this is where the fight starts repeating later on. And Terra Flare is the last big dangerous mechanic of the fight. So in 5 turns, we're going to see a Terra Flare, which is 6 flares. Alright, alright, that weakness, we can just wait. Alright, so after the next Terra Flare, I'll be skipping the fight, and we'll be coming back later in the fight. So 5 turns. We're just gonna repeat for the moment. That's dark damage, Atomic Ray. Alright. Repeat. As soon as she raises, we click everyone else, we re-raise, etc. Yeah, this is kind of a gimmick fight. Not the most exciting. All right, 4 turns. I think this is the quadruple atomic ray turn. It is. So we're gonna come back, and then guts. There we go. Not a problem. So let's go ahead and get everyone back up. And I think this is the turn I should be using Madwin. So that it's up for the burst coming up soon. Yeah, this is the turn the boss is gonna. Yeah, this is the turn that the boss gets ready. Okay, so and this is the reason you have to have Phasey for the strategy, because she has the auto revive. No other magic tank can do that. You know, without Phasey, this wouldn't work. All right, let's go ahead and do this, and we get ready for DPS again. And as far as the gauge goes, we're intentionally not breaking the gauge. Okay, so now the boss, or now we've run out of Trance Burst, so we're having to use Trance Limit instead, which is weaker. The damage is going to go down even further. Nice, long, clear, settle in, grab a snack, etc. We'll get there eventually. But yeah, if you break the gauge, the boss starts using physical attacks, which we're not really built for. You can deal with it with double Mirage. But we're just not breaking the gauge on this fight. Alright. So we get a damage turn coming up. Alright, let's see here. So we're going to damage, we're going to damage, we're going to damage, we're going to send, and we're going to wait. Last Reagan. Okay. Oh, that was a much better damage. Oh, did I cap improperly in the past? Well, we did good damage that time. He's resistant to physical too. Yeah, I guess that was just variance. I don't know. Anyway, coming up is the Terra Flare turn. I think it's this turn. Maybe next turn. Oh, next turn. Okay. So you're about to see Terra Flare, but as long as you've got Guts on the team, as well as Re-Raise and Phasey. Terra Flare as well will not wipe out your party. Okay, so next turn is going to be Terra Flare. Guard everyone. AoE revive or re-raise. And here comes Terra Flare, where he does 6 Terra Flares. 1. Phasey comes back. 2. And the reason this works properly is because some of them happen during the re-raise animation. So even though it was 6 of them, because when the whole team is re-raising, the way it works, they're all re-raising, and the Terra Flare hits during that re-raise, and it doesn't actually connect. So that's why we can survive Terra Flare with a full team of re-raise and Guts. And I mean, like all other turns, we recover. We use revive. And we use AoE re-raise, and we keep going. So the next time the boss, goes vulnerable to fire, we're gonna nuke him again. 3 more turns, Mega Flare is coming up, and the fight repeats. There's no threshold, there's no changes. This is gonna be the entirety of the fight, so I'm gonna be here for a very long time. I will come back when the boss is almost dead, but this is the fight. I will see you guys in a long time. Turn 18, I'm assuming I'll see you around turn 300, maybe more. So, see you guys soon. Alright guys, we are on turn 323, and we are approaching the home stretch. We just had the quadruple atomic ray turn, so this is when I summon Madwin for the LB field. And then we raise and we recoup. So yeah, I'm going to record the last few turns just, to show the finale. I'm probably not going to kill it in the next burst. I'm doing about 2% per burst, so it'll be about another rotation. The boss is currently charging up Terra Flare. You can tell because he does 5, 3, or 2 turn countdown. This is a 5 turn countdown, so Terra Flare is coming. But yeah, with like some kind of extreme variance, maybe we kill it this turn, but nah, I'm pretty sure we're not going to. Let's go ahead and raise her. Let's go ahead and shift our terrors, and we're going to have like 5 more turns after this is the way I'm going to predict it. Alright. Trance limit, and then we get Laswell Reagan ready with his stuff. Wait for the raise to finish. That's the most important thing when doing this, is making sure you don't use your re-raiser before the tank raises. Thankfully, I haven't messed that up yet. I have made quite a few mistakes during this clear, mostly just timing mistakes. I used my buffs on the wrong turn. I shifted on the wrong turn with my DPS. I kind of wasted, you know, between 5 and 7 turns when that happens. But those mistakes are fine. You just, you know, it goes slower. So I've wasted maybe 20 to 30 turns total by mistakes. But I haven't made any critical mistakes that would end the run for me. Those would be disappointing. Because, you know, currently this might be a first try all mission hard mode Bahamut. So, like I said, this is probably going to leave him at 1%, and then we'll be real sad. No way, we got it. The last hit was Laswell Reagan. Okay, finished with an LB. All missions 325 turns. Whew, this has been long. I don't even care. I don't even care about the dialogue. I'm just ready to be done with this. Whew. First try, all missions, 1 clear. Riku 40 levels. Got my Mega Flare of Morality Gold mission done. And some Esper Shards. Whew. Was that worth it? No. So people have been asking me and messaging me while I'm doing this, you know, how long did it take? So it's approximately 3 hours and 10 minutes. So it wasn't that bad, I guess. But let's go ahead and claim that. I think the medallions are sent directly to your box. So let's go to companion settings. Let's set a medallion. And, oh, can we please have the new content? Yes, that is my message. Let's see. Set emblem. And all of this was for the Mega Flare of Morality Gold, which we set. And no one's ever even going to notice it. And people that do notice it won't recognize it. So that was not worth it. But there... I now have the Mega Flare of Gold emblem for wasting 3 hours of my life. Anyway, there was hard mode Bahamut, all missions, 1 clear, with the team I showed you. Okay, if the rest of you do that, you know, settle in for a long clear. It's boring, but it's overall pretty, quote-unquote, easy if you just, you know, follow the pattern. Anyway... see you next time.